Yeah, so once again, greetings to you comrades, those of joining us. Thank you very much for joining our class, which is actually a Swahili class for conscious in study group. So it's a pleasure to have you here with us today. And we will be going on with our lessons on, today we are dealing with the directions. Last time we were dealing with the self-introduction. So we looked at things like wewe, mimi, the rest of tutaonana baadaye, and those are the other things. But today now we'll be moving to directions. From directions, we'll be getting to our next lesson will be on asking for help. So things to do with the help. It's just organized in a manner that you start from introducing yourself, self-introduction. We start with the greetings. Then from greetings, you went to self-introduction. Then from self-introduction, we are going to asking for direction. Then now asking for help. So these are two different things, but you can also combine them. But for the purpose of time, we want to make the class very brief. So just stick to asking for directions. Sister Valerie, I hope she's with us here. Last time she was inquiring about negation of words. But I think Brother Coco shared some posts in the group which might have helped her. Sister Valerie, greetings. How are you? Sister Valerie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
Did you get some help with the post that Brother Coco shared in regards to negative or negating of words? Oh no, it was past tense. It was tenses of words.
Sorry.
You were
Did you
asking.
get the help?
She was asking.
the-
She was asking question in regards to the tenses. Like she was not able to understand between the past tense, present tense, and future tense. Was that your concern, Sister Valerie, in the last class?
Yeah, it was. I'm still so say. I did go through
Okay.
and had a look. It's
Okay.
still so say a little bit so say. I will get it, but I need to practice it.
Okay. So I'll just do a very, I'll do a very short thing in regards to those tenses. Just very short before we get straight to this. So I'll do it around 5 minutes or 15 minutes. At 5, not 15, 5 minutes. Then we get to the lessons today. So when you're doing actually what we call tenses, I said that we have the normal tenses, leave even the present continuous. There's always past tense, which is the normal tenses. We have past tense. Then we have present tense.
Yeah.
Then we have future tense. Now, in normal circumstances, past tense in Swahili always goes with words like li. That's the syllable for past tense in Swahili. In English, most of it will be going with was, or even had. I had a lunch or I was somewhere to mean that it is something that has passed. But in Swahili, it's li. Only use a syllable li. So syllable li will be put in a sentence. Sometimes in Swahili, tenses do not stand alone like in English. It's like in English, you will be saying I was. The fact that was as a tense will mean that it's something that took place sometime back. For example, English would say, I was sitting.
Yeah.
So you see here, in this case, you have brought a tense as a was. This was as a standalone tense, as like a standalone word in this sentence. But in Kiswahili, it's not the same. So Swahili will be, it will combine the tense with the pronoun. So it will say, nilikuwa nalala. Or nilikuwa nimeketi. Now, in this aspect, you mean that now the tense here is in this li. Are you seeing this li in the word nili? Nilikuwa. Or sometimes this is more of a clear division of the tenses. Sometimes Swahili will take a formal tense in a shortcut way or a short form, and it will say niliketi instead of all going away to say nilikuwa nimeketi. Niliketi means I was sitting or I sat. Nimeketi. So you see the li here is the tense. While me in this word is the pronoun, nili, I, nili. So li is the tense, then keti is the main verb. So unlike English, which then say I and the was is a standalone, Swahili combine the tenses in together with the verb to make it like that. So past tense in Swahili is li. Present tense in Swahili is na or me. Or me. So for example, in English, you'll say, I am sitting. I am sitting. In saying I was sitting, you just say I sat. Either you say I sat down or anything you want to say. But in this case now, in the present tense, you will say I am sitting. Which Swahili will say nina. Swahili will use the word nina keti, or it will say nimeketi. So you realize me is here. In this word nimeketi. This me is the representative.
Nina.
Now you might not use you. For example, you see the sentence like I say I was sitting. That's a long sentence. You can just say I sat instead of I was sitting. So in Swahili, when you are saying I was sitting, you say it in a long term to mean nilikuwa nimeketi. I was sitting. While in the short form, as our English say I sat, Swahili will say niliketi. Niliketi. So it means I sat. Whichever you sat down or whatever, it means I sat. Now in this case, I am sitting. I am sitting is a present tense. Now, so any present tense are represented by a syllable me or na. But unlike in English, you see English is dividing this into three words. There's a I, there's a am, and there's sitting. As almost three different words here, or three different syllables in the main word here. I'm sitting. In Swahili, it doesn't divide them. So Swahili will say, for example, Swahili will either say ninaketi. Now the noun here is the present tense, the noun accompanying or come before the main verb keti. So by saying ninaketi, na is the tense here. Ninaketi, na. So na is a tense that means present tense in this case. So ninaketi. It's the same like I am sitting. Then nimeketi, me is also the tense here. So present tense either use na or me. Because there's present perfect. But the present perfect is the me. But the present tense is na. So in this case, you will not go into present perfect or present tense. Just present tense, Swahili syllable that represent a present tense always will be a na or a me. So then it's being introduced into a sentence. Instead of saying I am, if you say I am sitting, Swahili will say ninaketi or nimeketi. Now in this scenario, na or me in this word nimeketi is actually the tense for is the syllable for the present tense. For example, as I've said, I am sitting, and so it is I is ninaketi. That's the right word of I'm sitting in Swahili, ninaketi. But now, if you divide that word, you realize the the tense is before the main word Katie. So the first word me is a pronoun of myself. Then na is the tense. Then Katie is the verb. So in this case, the na or me is being used as a present tense. And in future tense, which is the third category, we use the word ta. Ta. So ta becomes the future tense or syllable for the future tense in that format. For example, using the same word, in English, you say, I will be sitting in future. I will be sitting. In Swahili, you'll say, nitaketi.
Okay.
Nitaketi. So there's the word ta. So the ta here is the future tense in this word. Is what represents future tense here. It will represent will. Ta. Nitaketi. So it stands for the word will, which is then implying a future tense that you will be sitting. So you say nitaketi. Now I am sitting, which is present, will be ninaketi. I was sitting or I sat, which is the past, will be niliketi. So there's a li, na, and ta, representing li for the past tense, na for the present tense, and ta for the future tense. Those are the tenses.
No, and time. Okay.
Yeah, so just, so for example, you went to the market. You'll say, in Swahili will be, I went to the market. Now Swahili will say, nilienda sokoni. Nili. That li stands from I went to the market. Nilienda sokoni. We are saying, I am cooking now. Swahili will be, ninapika sasa, or ninapika. I am cooking. Now the me and the na, the second na here is now the present tense. Ninapika. I am cooking. If you say, I will be sleeping later, so it will be nitalala. Nitalala. So the ta, nitalala, the ta now stands for future tense in that case. Is that okay, sister?
Yeah.
That's at least better. So take a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take a screenshot of that so that I can take it off, and then you can do your practice on that as well. So I got that, and then I go briefly to the class for today. Is there any member in the class who may be having the question in regards to those past, present, and future tense? Okay, that's okay. So let's get to the direction for today then. So in direction, apart from the many words that have been written here that I'll be going through very fast, let me introduce quickly keywords that are being used in direction. Direction itself in Swahili is called mwelekeo. Mwelekeo. Direction sometimes has two meanings. It can mean a physical compass, or it can mean also a guideline, like what guideline are you giving us? Like somebody asks you, what's the direction moving from here? Or what directives are you giving out of the word direction? So can you direct us? That cannot mean sometimes you're being directed in terms of physical walking, but it can also mean somebody giving a direction in terms of either an opinion of something. So we call it mwelekeo. Direct means elekeza. Elekeza. That means direct. Elekeza. So there's mwelekeo and there's elekeza. Those deal with direction. Now, key directions will be physical ones before you go even to the compasses. by telling somebody hapa, which means here. Here is still a direction. As much as pointing, somebody telling you here or come here, it's giving you a direction of where you should be. So here in Swahili is hapa. Very basic direction. Here. Come here. For example, somebody say, come here. Swahili will be kuja hapa. So hapa stands for here.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's simple thing like there. That's another direction. There, either pointing at somewhere. Swahili says hapo. Hapo. There has also some various distance. For example, somebody will say just there. Just there, in terms of what it means in direction, means very close. But up there, it means far away. But English will still use there to mean a distance far away from where you are. There. So Swahili has two versions of it. It has hapo and huko. Huko and hapo. Now, the first hapo, somebody say, over somebody will say, for example, look over there. So here will be angalia hapo. Look over there. Angalia hapo. So hapo is over there. There will be there that will mean either very far away, which is he is over there. What is there? That far. It's either there or that far. That means somebody is not that close. But since English can use the word there. Now, if it is that far in that distance, it will be a quote equal. That's for human being, but the direction also change if you are in what we call the main direction change if you are not human being. For example, in human being or living things, you use hapa, huko. But there's also other versions of directions which could mean the same hapo based on if it is the thing like pale, which is there, but still in other directions. But that will come to later. So for now, let's stick to hapo and huko, which means there. So ako huko, he is there. That there is maybe far away, but look over there, which means angalia hapo, not very far, but somewhere close. Then there is hapa, which is here. Those are very key normal directions or normal words for directions and objectives. Now, let's go to maybe now the complexive directions. Like you see, let's go now to complex ones. Unless somebody has a question. Unless somebody has a question on me here, which is hapa, hapo, or huko.
So where is wapi?
What is where? What is a question?
Yeah.
Where? Wapi? Where?
Yeah.
Which I want to go to. So there are things like in that wapi you've asked, there's wapi, which means where. Wapi, where. There's nani, which means who. Nani. Then there's another one, which is how, which means aje. So those are the three key questions in English: who, where, and how. So there's wapi, nani, aje. Now we can move to complex directions then. But these are the basics. Of course, where is part of direction, but who is not part of direction, but also can just, sometimes it can give you direction because they're asking, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Nani, who is nani? Where are you talking about? Wapi, where? So those are also key basics one. So you'll see wapi, wapi, wapi all over, especially in directions. Most of the time you come across wapi, wapi to mean where, because most of the direction will be about where, especially when you're asking question where. Where is the table? Where are you going? Where did he go? It's all where. Those are the basics directions. Let's get to complex directions, which basically in this case now we'll go to the compass directions. So you can also take a screenshot of this before I erase it, but of course I'll also share the recording with all of it. And the way now you can have a screenshot of that. Then you go to compass directions, which in them will be very also brief before we look at now specific places. Okay. So let's get to some compass direction. So in more directions, of course, apart from saying there, here, or whatever, there are also some elements of direction that I'll want to test here before I go to the compass direction. Let me test them. Hope you can see the words I've pasted in my screen. The same screen, the blue one, the ones with stars.
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll not be concerned with the first ones first. I'll be concerned with some few here that I want to indicate. So this one will not be very important. The key important ones are these one I'm trying to leave here. So it also, part of direction before you even move to compass direction, there's where you are as a person. So you can give directions on either your left, your right, forward, backward, something like that, or far away or near. Those are also key directions. Of course, we also cover where. So let's concentrate with also this other type of direction. So if you're standing where you're standing, you want to tell somebody come in front or come forward. Forward is mbele. Mbele. Can you try to do some pronunciation? Mbele.
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 Yeah, mbele. Sister, go try the word mbele.
Belly.
Mbele. Brother Glenn?
Mbele.
Yeah, you're always doing an M as a separate, but you need to pronounce it as mba, mbe, mba.
Bele.
Mbe, so it becomes mbele. Yeah, mbele. So mbele is your front or ahead or forward. It's called mbele. So you can tell somebody, come in front. Or come forward. That means kuja mbele. Come is kuja. So kuja mbele.
Mbele. Kuja mbele.
Yeah, that means come in front or come forward. Kuja mbele. So mbele is forward or in front. There is nyuma. Nyuma, which is also very hard to pronounce, but it's nya, nye, ni, nyo, nyu. Nya, nye, ni, nyo, nyu. So it's nyuma.
Numa.
Yeah, nyuma, from the word nya, nye, ni, nyo, nyu. Nyuma.
Numa.
Yeah. So nyuma is the backward or the back or behind. So nyuma is back or behind. It's called nyuma. Mbele is in front. Nyuma is behind or backward. Then there is now, I'm giving direction where you're standing. So we've already dealt with if you're standing, we've already dealt with your front and your back. So your front is mbele, your back is nyuma. Now your right side is kulia. Kulia.
Kulia.
Of course, kulia, the word kulia can also mean to cry. Kulia. As much as it means right hand, it can also mean to cry. The same word. To cry means kulia. But for the purpose of direction today, we're using kulia to means right. So I'll tell you, for example, say, your right hand. Or right hand. In Swahili will be mkono wa kulia. Mkono wa kulia. Mkono is the hand. So the hand of right. That's what Swahili take it like. Hand of right. Mkono wa kulia. Right hand. Mkono. Mkono.
Mkono.
Yes, wa kulia. Your right hand.
Mkono wa kulia.
Kulia. That's right hand. I've said in another aspect, kulia could mean cry or to cry. But in the purpose of direction, kulia will mean right. Then we have, we mean right. Left is kushoto. Kushoto. That is left. So kulia, right. Kushoto, left. So in this case, I'll say mkono wa kushoto means left hand. So those are the basics. We have finished most of the basics in terms of your standing point, if you want to give direction from your standing point. So in your front side, or in your front or in front is mbele. Your back is nyuma. Your left is kulia. Your right is kulia and your left is kushoto. So left, kushoto, right, kulia, front, mbele, back, nyuma. Nyuma, nya, nye, 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 nya, nye, nyi, nye, nyuma. 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 That's back. So I request that you allow me extra 5 minutes because of some delay we incurred at the start of the class so that I finish in the next 5 minutes. I deal with now just compass direction. Okay. Now, there are other few things like here now, karibuni. Karibuni is close to or nearer. Karibuna, nearer. Of course, in another context, we use the word karibu to mean welcome. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of direction, when you say karibuna, or somebody say karibia, when you say karibia, it is basically meaning come closer. Come closer, karibia. But karibuna means close to or near to. Close to or near to. So for example, you're giving direction of your place, you say, karibu na barabara. For example, in Jambiani there. So say, nyumba yangu iko karibu na barabara. My house is close to the road or is near the road. Nyumba yangu iko karibu na barabara. Barabara is the road. So karibu na means close to or near the road. And then there's mbali na. Mbali is far. Mbali, far. Mbele is ahead. Mbali is far. So don't confuse it. Mbele is ahead, while mbali is far. So you say mbali na, far from. So mbali is far, karibu na is near or close, while mbali na is far from or far away. Any question there? I want to close that and then you just handle these directions. Okay. Let me go to the compass. Yes, brother.
No, I'm just reading. It's okay.
Isn't there a food like mbali? Mbali. I'm sorry, I'm probably
I'm not sure. Maybe
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
not sure.
Okay, I just thought maybe you'd told us one before. Sorry.
No, there's Wali.
Okay.
There's a
sorry.
number that's close to it, Mbili.
There's Wali. Wali is actually cooked rice.
So what was mbili that you said?
The mbili is 2.
It's a number, yeah.
Mbili is a number 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mbali
maybe
and
yeah, because I'm sure we'd heard that word before.
Yeah.
That's why.
So mbili is the number 2. Mbali is far, and mbele is ahead or in front.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, welcome. So please take a screenshot of this also in a second also, as I close it so that you go to the directions, the compass, which is we are going to do in a minute or two and then we close.
Okay.
So let's get to the compass. So there are 4 main compass directions. We have the north, we have the south. Some people start with east, then you go to west. In Swahili, the north is kaskazini. Kaskazini.
Kaskazini.
Kaskazini. That your direction is called Kazim Kazi. Kazim Kazi. Kazim Kazi.
Sounds very similar, yes.
Yeah, but this is Kaskazini. Kaskazini is north. Then the next one is Kusini. Is south. But there's one close to Kusini, which is Kusini. If you put Kusini, that is hell. Hell is Kusini. But for this Petras, you're dealing with Kusini, which is south. Then we have the east. Is Mashariki. 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 Then west is a bit tough. It's Magharibi. Maga. But you can just say Magharibi. So we have Kaskazini, Kusini, Mashariki, and Magharibi.
Mm.
So, for example, East Africa,
Hard to pronounce the last bit.
Maga. You just say Maga. If you can't bring G and the H together, just go with G. Or Ga. It's Maga instead of Maga.
Okay.
So just say Maga. Magharibi. Magharibi. So you don't pronounce the H. So just say Magharibi, like you say Magharibi. Magharibi. So
Magharibi.
yeah, Magharibi, just like that. Then you have
Magharibi.
Magharibi. Then you have Mashariki. Then you have Kusini and Kaskazini. Examples using Africa. There is Africa, Mashariki, which means East Africa. East Africa is Africa Mashariki. Is one F, Africa. So Swahili is still called Africa, Africa. So the Africa with the KA is actually Swahili. The one that GS is using. That is Swahili.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's Swahili. So it is
interesting.
It's Africa Mashariki.
Mashariki.
Now the West Africa will be can you see still my blue screen?
Say
Yes,
again?
we can see it. We can see
You
it.
can see the side screen, the side blue screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've said East Africa is Africa Mashariki. What will be West Africa?
Africa.
Africa, Haribi.
Africa Magharibi.
Oh, Magharibi, yes.
Yeah, so that is West Africa. Africa Magharibi. How about North Africa?
Africa,
Kasini.
So if you want to pronounce it properly, you say Kas as one word, Kas, then you say Kazini. So you separate it. Kas, Kazini. Kas, Kazini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Africa,
So
Kazini. Kazini, yeah.
yeah, so Kas, Kazini, Africa, Kas, Kazini. That is in North Africa. And how about South Africa?
Africa,
Kusini.
Kusini.
It is Kusini. Yeah, Africa, Kusini.
Kusini.
So you have Africa, Mashariki, East Africa, Africa, Magharibi, West Africa, Africa, Kaskazini, North Africa, and Africa, Kusini, which is South Africa.
Magharibi.
Magharibi, Mashariki, Kusini, and Kaskazini. So as I was saying, the word Africa with K is Swahili. And that is the end of our... Yes.
Okay, I was going to say they have Maghreb, isn't it? Maghreb for something to do with West Africa. Maghreb, I think it's French.
Maghreb is, does it refer to the North Africa in the English context?
Okay, I thought it was something to do with the desert, the Maghreb or something.
Yeah, so the desert part, Maghreb region.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but Swahili is now Magharibi. So that,
okay.
That's the end of our class today. So we started the directions. We moved to actually after directions, we moved to even places. like front, backward, forward, sideways, or left or right. We did that. Went to where or who. We went to here and there. And we've gone all the way now to the compass direction. And I think that's enough for our class today in terms of directions.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So let's try and meet next time. And if you took some screenshot, let's meet next time, and then we move on to other parts of our lesson. So we'll just be making that brief in specific topics. So next time we'll be dealing with asking for help. But that's not be so much. We'll just be doing a few words you have to be, because asking for help, which means you have to be cautious enough, you have to be polite enough. So I'll be basically concentrating on the how you put some words, polite words for asking for help. Of course, the rest of the things here are so many things which you can then move very fast to the relations. Because when they put serious word like I'm hungry, those are not asking for help. Those are explaining who you are, but we'll deal with some few factors of asking for help. Then now we'll move to the next class, which now will be in relations. We have talked of some relations before, like mtoto, baba, dada, mama. We'll just touch on them a bit on some few words that are vocabularies that are coming. So next class, we can basically run very briefly on some few keywords of asking for help, and also touch on the relations, just building up on, because we have done majority of the relations like mama, baba, and the rest. Then we close our class there. And then that will now give us a good time to move now to the human body parts. So for now, let's end there, and thank you for your attendance for today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
sana.
Karibu, lala salama.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want to ask you something when you turn off the recording. Brother Pigeon, are you all there?